It's still happy hour with John Gaskins, so go ahead, have another.
All right. Meanwhile, it's getting easier to look forward to the 2026 NFL season with OTAs going on. The Vikings started on May 26th. You get 10 days over about a 3-week stretch. And so by now, you know, we've heard from Kyler Murray, we've heard from J.J. McCarthy, and we've heard from the Vikings' new GM. How about the Vikings' best player, Justin Jefferson? He kind of holds some cards to the 2026 success, or at least I think he should. I think he should have a big say in who the quarterback is going to be, Murray or McCarthy. Now, it already feels like things are leaning Kyler Murray. They don't go and pick the man up. Certainly, it was a bargain deal at $1.3 million that the Cards are paying mostly for. But with J.J. McCarthy, 29th in Pro Football Focus quarterback rankings last year, we saw it. Too much damage, and the roster, although some may argue it's not elite, you have an elite offensive mind in the head coach, an elite defensive mind in the defensive coordinator, and we're not here to hold J.J. McCarthy's hand. You get Kyler Murray because you want Kyler Murray to play. So, plus J.J. McCarthy can't stay healthy. I mean, neither can Kyler Murray, but you get it. And Justin Jefferson comes into this season on the arc of a Hall of Fame career, if not on the, on the trend, the trajectory of one of the all-time wide receiving greats. He set the NFL record for the most reception yards by an NFL player in his first 6 years. All-pro in each of his first 4 full seasons. Remember, he missed 7 games in 2023. His third season, 2022, the youngest to lead the NFL in receptions and reception yards. He was the league's offensive player of the year. So, in general, best receiver in the league for most of his career when he's been healthy. And that was with Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold throwing him most of his passes. You could say what you want about Cousins and Darnold. They've always been top half of the NFL quarterbacks and top 10 in some years. Darnold each of his last 2. Now you've got J.J. McCarthy, who's one of the worst in the league. And J.J., as in Justin Jefferson, had by far his least productive of his 6 NFL seasons last year with J.J. McCarthy and whoever was filling in for J.J. McCarthy, usually Carson Wentz, throwing him the ball. But it was the by far fewest receptions, fewest yards, fewest receptions yards per game, fewest reception yards per catch for Justin Jefferson, and it was the second fewest targets he had seen in his career in the 5 seasons he played full seasons. Not a mistake. We all get it. J.J. McCarthy's a huge drop-off from Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold, but you can't let this go on. You can't have a second season of that. Justin Jefferson is in the middle of a 4-year contract. 2 years in, he has 2 years left. And not only could the Vikings be wasting a lot of wins on a generational talent in Justin Jefferson, you could be letting the chances of him signing his next contract with you sliding away if you don't have the right quarterback throwing him the ball. J.J. McCarthy, by anyone who's a decent quarterback analyst, even your UPS guy, layman, and I don't know, I just threw UPS out there. It could be your plumber. It could be your friendly sports talk show host, but your lawyer. Anybody who watches football can tell J.J. McCarthy holds on to the ball too long, and that gets him sacked at a higher rate than any quarterback in the NFL. And in one particular game, Justin Jefferson was targeted 12 times, and McCarthy only completed it 4 times to him. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. J.J. McCarthy only had 2 touchdowns last year, by far the fewest he's ever had. So, look, it wasn't all on McCarthy's tab. Carson Wentz had it there, and the offensive line didn't give these quarterbacks time to throw. But you can't, if J.J. McCarthy doesn't improve, you can't have him back in throwing balls to Justin Jefferson, because if you take advantage of arguably the best or the most talented or the most dangerous receiver in the NFL, who, by the way, is part of one of the best, most talented wide receiving duos in the NFL with Jordan Addison and with Juwan Jennings coming, probably trios in the NFL, which takes some attention off of Justin Jefferson, should make the job for a quarterback easier. You just can't waste this. And so, as far as I know, Paul Allen, the voice of the Vikings, on his show today, asked Justin Jefferson about what it's like catching footballs from Kyler Murray.
Does Kyler throw a good ball? I mean, you've caught it enough to know he throws. What do you like about his passing?
He's really in this. I mean, I would say he's really. He understands the game. He understands the defenses. He understands just how to put touch on the ball, just enough to where it gets to where it got to go without making it difficult for us. So he understands the game a lot more just because he's been in the game for a couple of years now. So he kind of throws the ball before you even get out that break. And,
that's good.
Yeah, for
sure. So he throws you open.
For sure.
Well, we can use that.
For sure.
2008.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy, and he's a competitor, just like me. So I'm looking forward to see how good he do in training camp. I'm looking forward to JJ seeing his improvements and seeing the different things that he has picked up over the all season. But I'm excited for the competition. You know, I'm excited for that to go on in training camp and see the different plays that they make.
Now, Justin's a really nice guy. He has taken most of this in stride. He's not Stephon Diggs, where he's visibly frustrated in games, although I think Cordell could agree, yes or no. There were times when it appeared Justin Jefferson was visibly upset in games that the quarterback wasn't finding him the ball. But, on the mic, he's being very diplomatic. And, he mentioned at the end about how he's looking forward to the competition between these two. But the part of that answer that makes you go, yeah, that's not just a generic nice guy soundbite, is, to me, is that you can see the different plays that he can make, that he knows the game more. I want to really go back and pick apart the words, because that's partly my job here, which makes shows like this fun and interesting, and hopefully for you, is that he understands the game a lot more, Kyler Murray does. He didn't say a lot more than who, but I'm guessing he meant a lot more than J.J. McCarthy. What other quarterback would Justin Jefferson be talking about? He understands the game a lot more. And you heard it. He paused for a second, and then he goes, well, he just sees the field a little bit better, right? He's able to put some touch on the ball, and so he doesn't make it so hard for the receiver to go get the ball. He makes my job easier. That's what he can tell by catching passes in nothing but air with Kyler Murray. That's a big difference. That's a nod. Both guys are going to get a chance, but when the best receiver in the league has those things to say, that spells trouble for J.J. McCarthy, and certainly it checks. Kyler Murray's been playing in the league for several years. He's gotten hurt. He's been on bad teams. He hasn't been well protected. He hasn't gotten a lot of wins. But, again, look at Sam Darnold, who was on really bad teams and not handled well and didn't have much protection either. This is like Sam Darnold with the Vikings. This is the best situation Kyler Murray has had, and he's going to have some weapons at his disposal. And for a guy that can see the ball better and throw his receivers open, so it doesn't make it so damn hard for them to go get it. Not only does this make Kyler Murray a much better option to throw passes to Justin Jefferson, if that happens, the Minnesota Vikings are going to score more touchdowns and win a bunch more games. Their over-under is at 8.5 right now. That is what it was coming into last year. If Kyler Murray stays healthy, if the offensive line stays healthy, which it didn't, both tackles, veteran, quality tackles were hurt for long stretches, things could really pop for the Vikings offense with Kyler Murray as the quarterback, Justin Jefferson catching balls. And that offensive line better stay intact, because what's partly the knock on Kyler Murray? Well, he struggles mightily with heavy pass rushes. Newsflash, all quarterbacks do, But Kyler Murray's even worse than the average quarterback, if not much worse, when he's got bodies and hands in his face and he's hearing footsteps. But in just throwing the football to Justin Jefferson, and I think Justin should have a big say. He doesn't even need a big say. It's going to be obvious to a coach like Kevin O'Connell, just like it is to you and me, how much easier he can get open and catch the ball with a quarterback, an experienced one like Kyler Murray, compared to just J.J. McCarthy. Hey, NBA game finals are tonight, game 3. NBA finals game 3 are tonight. And we'll talk more about this with Matt Zimmer tomorrow on Nobody's Listening Anyway. A lot of you are hearing or watching this show during or after the results of game 3. But through 2 games, the main bullet points are Knicks are dominating. They're probably going to win the series. And Cat is dominating Wemby. And there's a lot of thoughts you can have as a Minnesota Timberwolves fan as you watch that happen and think about it. For one, are you happy for Cat? I am. He seems like a good guy. He was a pain in the ass sometimes to watch with the Wolves because he sucked life out of the ball. And that took things away from the talents of not as much Anthony Edwards as guys like Rudy Gobert and Jalen McDaniels. And, but he's starting to figure out with the New York Knicks that he's not the centerpiece anymore at 7 feet, a guy who can shoot, take up space, physicality. No, he's deferring more to Jalen Brunson, but when the opportunity presents itself, he is moving on in on Wemby and dominating. And so he's playing his best basketball, the best basketball of his career in the finals for another team. So are you happy for him? Are you mad that he didn't blossom and have that kind of maturity when he was with the Wolves? Probably all the above if you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. But you got to ask yourself, considering the Wolves made one conference finals with Cat and then got to another conference finals after the Cat trade with the Knicks, and basically, the main difference is bringing in Julius Randle. And then the T-Wolves get bounced by the Spurs, who the Knicks are dominating. The Spurs dominated the Wolves in 6 games, 30-point wins in games 5 and 6. Is there any revisionist history going on? Is there any traitor's remorse? Do you wish Cat were with the Wolves? Now that you see the light coming on for him, the way that he's dominated Wemby, because if Cat dominates Wemby in a Wolves uniform, do the Wolves win that series and get to the NBA Finals and break through? Yes or no, Cordell? I just want to hear the answer. Yes or no? I just find it fascinating. Not with the amount of injuries the Wolves had this year. That's yeah. That is valid. I asked Chris Johnson, just USF basketball coach and constant co-host of our Timberwolves talks here on Happy Hour, our resident Timberwolves analyst. And would the Wolves be better or worse or about the same if Karl-Anthony Towns was still playing? His answer, if they kept Cat, then probably both Jaden and Naz Reid aren't on the team anymore, and no question, one for sure. I don't think it changes much, although it would be different. I believe if healthy, the Wolves would have beaten the Spurs this year without Cat, with the team they had. And they are better than the Knicks. Cat is better than Julius and Dante, but the flexibility it gave them, they had no choice. So some of that answer comes back to health, just like Cordell said. Yes or no, Cordell? Cordell's a diehard Wolves fan. Are you cheering for Cat in these NBA finals, or at least happy for him that he's playing well and going to win a title in somebody else's uniform? No, you're not. And why not? Cordell was not a big Cat fan when he was with the Wolves, so he doesn't really care about him with the Knicks. Are you cheering against Cat because of all this? No. Because he hates teams in the West more than the East. So he doesn't want to see the Spurs win. It's just the whole Cat factor. with him popping with the Knicks in the NBA Finals, dominating Wemby. I'm just guessing it stirs all kinds of thoughts in Wolves fans or even casual observers like myself. And as a non-diehard Wolves fan, I am happy for him. I think it is maddening he wasn't this mature and just this ready to be a force on a big stage when he was with the Wolves and they were starting to become relevant. But I think the Wolves' lot in life is still A-okay. Life has moved on. The flow of basketball has been better without him in their structure. And but good luck for the New York Knicks. When it comes down to it, he was, selfish play at times, silly, stupid fouls, pain in the ass. But if you've ever read interviews, heard interviews off the court, know about his charity work, his life story, an easy guy to root for, a really good guy. It'd be really cool to see him host a championship trophy. But there's part of Minnesota sports fans, I guarantee you, we'll talk more about this as the finals go along, that are going to look at that. And if he does, he's the MVP and the Knicks win the championship. Some Minnesota sports fans are going to go, there you go. There's David Ortiz with the Red Sox winning. He gets good. He finally gets good there when he was showing so much potential here. Don't know if that's apples to apples or apples to oranges, but, Minnesota keeps not winning championships while others do sometimes with Minnesota athletes. Okay.